Wow, people wey suppose talk through to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary political, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary political, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do even no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary political, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you from wherever you are watching from. And this is Mayegun Live.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀, làwọn tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun.
Please share the broadcast. Invite your friends and invite not so friendly friends of yours and tell them that Mayegun today live.
Àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun diary political.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun.
Tonight, I am going to take you through a lot of journeys. Let me put it that way. I mean, like, we are going to compare, contrast before we come to a conclusion. So if you have an hour that you are not using, if you can spare 30 minutes of that, the first 30 minutes of that, with me, it's going to be worth it. I caught a video where Babagana Kingibe was explaining the process of a possibility of Nigeria breaking up and the possibility of having a conversation around that. And that is interesting. I want to explore that. But before I even get into the details of tonight's, kind of catch-up rider there, I want to kind of reduce or advise you to reduce your expectation of Mayegun, mostly because what I share with you are from my own personal self-development that gave me the idea of knowing something about everything. And that has helped a lot. And my own little way of connecting with many of you is that I can link all these happenings together and I can take you through a direction to say, where is it going to end? Sometimes people ask, what is the solution? Well, it is the same one. Maybe if we all agree or try to understand how or where this started, and maybe if going back to that can be the start before the eventual breakup, I'm going to help you cross the T's this evening. Now, when you call, whatever you take out of this conversation or this broadcast tonight, wherever you make of it, usually people do make good of it. And they come back to say, that helped me to understand better why Nigeria needs to break. And the conversation towards that should be the uppermost and the utmost subjects for those who genuinely care for humanity. I am not an expert. I am not a journalist, as some people would love to say. I am just Mayegun, that guy that can connect you so well with the happenings in Nigeria that even if you are living far away, you can still feel it and you can be prompted to act, because you know that today's victims, they are yesterday's survivors. And you know tomorrow's victims are today's survivors. And since they have turned the insecurity and everything in Nigeria to turn by turn Nigeria Limited, you don't want to wait to happen to you. That is why you watch Mayego. Now let's take it this way. Personally, I found out that the problem of Nigeria is primarily political. The interest and every other connecting factors, components that finally brought us to where we are today. And how can that be dismantled? Is by understanding how it emerged. Politics is what I call the every vein of our own existence. Only if we understand how politics affects us, even when we care less about those in that politics. Until now, let's put it this way. Nigeria was supposed to be, according to the colonial masters, right, was supposed to be a kind of Britain, where you have England, where you have, Scotland, North Ireland, Wales. So that can represent each component that, at least major component that make up that country. And from the onset, even as selfish, as corrupt as the colonial masters were, they never made the mistake of merging Nigeria together. Now, politics. I understand that you are not existing if government doesn't say you are. You are not dead if the government document doesn't say you are dead. Many people are dead that they don't have any documentation or anything, but you know what that means, right? But for those of you who are actually like existing, you went to school, got a job, maybe not, paying tax, and you have a name, you have an ID card and all that stuff, which means you exist. For every one of you in that card, which is every one of us, right? when those who have the chance of being in politics makes policies, and their policies affect you, even when you probably either support or you don't support them, right? And then that brings us back to how does politics affect you, and how much of this negligence and ignorance have contributed to where we are today. Many people believed in their own way that maybe if they, okay, let me put it this way. People formed political parties which eventually seek power. The power they seek is actually for you to submit your sovereignty to them, to act on your behalf. Now, when the system is completely rigged and the characters of people that present themselves to you are the only options you have because the system allows it, that leaves you with no other thing other than the consequences of electing the same corrupt people that system will continue to give to you. Now, you are now at the mercy of whatever they do, just like you are now. So those who seek this power, take away your own power. By all means, bribery, force, use of arm, and whatever. And taking over this power, that making policies on this through this power that finally segmented us, because that's what their policies did. And that is why I said, with the way they have brought, with the point they brought to Nigeria to right now, you can compare Nigeria and Sudan. How? We are at a state whereby all power like to choose the type of people that represent you through a clean and clear, corrupt-free system, whereby if those you give that power to misuse them in a way that it affects you, you can take it back. But a rigged system doesn't allow you to take anything back. The rigged system only kind of forced you into a way of validating giving away that power. And in the return, they segmented every one of us. Now, segmenting us worked in their favor, just like it worked in the favor of those in Sudan. This is the story of Sudan. When Sudan got independence from Egypt, ironically, when they got independence from Egypt, South Sudan, North Sudan, they were one country, but not as one country. Southern Sudan was autonomous region, just like what you have in Nigeria, Northern Nigeria, Western Nigeria, Eastern Nigeria, Western Nigeria, which is called the Midwest mostly today, forming 4 regions they were independent of one another. That was what happened in Sudan too. So the Southern Sudan, they had their own autonomy. Autonomy means they rule themselves, even though they are parts of Sudan. But something happened, like it happened in Nigeria. People who choose to take and grab that power through the barrels of gun, they dismantled that structure, then imposed a new one that we are dealing with today. Although, same thing happened in Sudan, they fought until they finally broke away. But here is how the similarity works. Northern Nigeria, like Northern Sudan, they control the power because they believe they have the size. Because of that, when I say control power, they ensured that the security forces, the military, the police, the secret police, every other security thing that actually holds a country, after they abrogated the whole country together, right, were led by Northern Sudanese, including their later dictator president, Omar al-Bashir. So, abrogating and forcing the North and South together and forming one country and then promoting one united Sudan never brought peace. Therefore, Southern Sudan, for some of you who have been following possibly international politics for a while, there were killings in the Southern Sudan led and funded with money from Southern Sudan by the Northern Sudanese power order back to Nigeria. After forcing everybody together to one Nigeria, which was not the foundation. Yorubas were doing their things. The Igbos were doing their things. The Midwesterners were doing their things. The Northerners were doing their things. Their way. Making their laws, generating their, running their things their way. Until 1966, like Sudan. So they formed a one united. And there were differences for those who probably gave those independence at different times, like Sudan, like Nigeria. Those who gave those independence then, right, they did not give independence as, oh, you are one united country that will then be ruled at the center. No, they didn't. Until 1966, when everything tumbled. But something that is different between Nigeria and Sudan back then is this. When the military took over power in Sudan and they cancelled the agreement between the North and the South, and they forced themselves into power and everything, because like everywhere in Africa, it is a winner takes all, right? So if they manage to give you anything, be grateful, because they defeated you. They are in power. That's exactly what happened in Sudan. But here is the story. They structure Sudan Southern Sudan in a way that it is enclosed. Even with all their natural resources, they have no way of taking them out without having to resort mostly to Northern Sudan. So when they abrogated that power, right, they channeled everything from Southern Sudan to fund Northern Sudan. But guess what? Like Northern Nigeria and Nigeria, they were only interested in power, not in their people. So as they were getting those resources and they were giving themselves different ranks for killing Southern Sudanese to keep Sudan one, Southern Sudanese continued to fight. They did not go into arrangement. They did not go into agreement. That is why the war in Sudan lasted for more than 30 years. There was never agreement, no peace. So the whole thing was forced. So if you are a general in Sudan, as a Sudanese general, they are getting their stars for killing Southern Sudanese, trying to force them to remain as part of Sudan. That's the story. Now, that's how relative they are to Nigeria. In Nigeria, the northern oligarch who took over power in 1966, they were only interested in power, not in their people. Okay? They have the power. They've had the power. They've had all the riches, all the wealth, everything that they needed during the time they were controlling Nigeria and still controlling Nigeria. They did not invest in their people, just in themselves, their children, their family members. As those poor people continue to grow, they become more burden to the rest of Nigeria. Remember, Southern Nigeria could possibly, think about this, in a way to keep control. They have to control the monetary system. They control the defense system of Nigeria. They control, the judicial system of Nigeria. They, in fact, control virtually every data in Nigeria. Not because they can use those data, because if they are really working with those data, right, they should be scared of what will become the future of Northern Nigeria in the next 20 years, next 30 years. But they don't care, because Northern Nigeria and the population there can continue to be the burden of the rest of Nigeria as long as the funding keeps coming from Southern Nigeria. So every time the Southern Nigeria should come together and say, you know what? If we can't go back to 1957, 1959, which gave independence, autonomy to all regions, let's go back to that for a start. And then we can begin to discuss how to break up. If Southern Nigeria should come to that time, the North would declare war, like Darfur and Southern Sudan. They would declare war, like they have already declared it on the Southern Nigeria. I have explained many times on how much of this war that they have waged on Southern Nigeria, even though that is the golden goose that is laying the golden egg that is actually feeding the North, even though the North has they have the capacity. But the laziness of those who were interested in power only is about to catch up with them. Let's go back to Sudan, relatively. So, in the moment we crossed over to the new millennium, the world finally got the attention. I mean, what was going on in Sudan finally got the attention of the world. The whole world. And when I say world, I'm talking about those that are ignoring Nigeria right now, because Nigeria is not their priority for now. Okay? Once Nigeria becomes their priority, what happened in Sudan will happen in Nigeria, but you just need to be prepared. This is what happened. When the Northern Sudan were in power and they were controlling the country, right? The Northern population, they believed that the reason why Sudan and the people were facing serious problems and all of that was because Sudan was spending money to stop the rebels who were trying to break Sudan, which the rebels are the Southerners, who were actually fighting for what they agreed to before they went into alliance to form a country called Sudan. So Northern Sudan propaganda machine was feeding their population, like Northern Nigeria is feeding their population, their children, the poor, every one of them who are victims of their poor leadership for decades. Same way Northern Sudan leadership, over the decade, they were blaming the poverty in Sudan on the war going on in Southern Sudan, because they are trying to keep the country warm, and some rebels, some criminals, they want to break the country. So when the world finally got the attention of what was going on in Sudan, when they decided to act, they revisited that agreement that Southern Sudan had when they went into that independence agreement with Northern Sudan, because primarily they have a lot of differences. They don't have anything in common. But because Egypt that colonized Sudan, right? Colonized Sudan for the resources in Sudan, just like the same way the British colonized many, many West African countries today. Back then, rather. It was for economic reason. They knew the differences. And they never made mistake of saying, oh, let's give you democracy. Elect some of yourself. No. They said, respect your boundaries. And then let's see what the future holds for you. That was the agreement. So the world finally had to agree that you need to go back to that agreement if you want peace in Sudan. That did not bring immediate peace to Southern Sudan, nor to Northern Sudan. But it finally separated the excuses given by the politicians of both sides over the years why Sudan should remain one when people are dying in poverty. Sudan, Southern Sudan, broke away from Northern Sudan, finally. But that didn't bring peace, like I said, because there are other internal rancors within Southern Sudan. But you know what they did? They fought themselves. They fought those differences, right? It cost them a lot, but it cost them less than what it cost them for decades for trying to regain back their freedom, the one that gives them the right to decide if they want to be the poorest or if they want to be the richest in the world. Their destiny is now in their hands. They have no excuse anymore. So they fought themselves, and they finally came to a conclusion, an agreement that said, we have one president and we have 5 vice presidents. Their job is to represent every clan in Southern Sudan. And except we all agree on something, that thing is not going to be done. They fought themselves after they got independence. It didn't come rosy straight away. But they have no excuse anymore to blame the North. But Northern Sudan, they didn't go into El Dorado too. Even though Sudan, Khartoum, or where's that their headquarters, their capital rather, Khartoum became a mecca for northern Nigerian elites and the clerics, the Islamic clerics from northern Nigeria, because they were able to build fancy roads, fancy schools, fancy, government infrastructures in the capital. Just like they were able to build Abuja to look like wow, but it's not a wow. Yeah? Sudan. But what were they going to Sudan to learn? Promotion of Sharia, teachings of Sharia, teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, things that promote religion. And I don't think there's anything wrong in that, except for the intention of those sending those children there. They were not sending them there to come back and possibly preach an Islamic teachings that will make an average northerner educated enough, opportune enough to look around and say, I am happy that the northern Nigeria of today is not so much like Dubai, but it's quite close and we are safe. They did not bring that knowledge. They brought terrorism, and do not sugarcoat it. Because the result of all the education they went to learn in Sudan, when Sudan was still one, was how to dominate and conquer, enforce and do this. That's what they learn mostly. Because that's what I see. That is what I see. Sudan broke up. The people who have been generous, rich generous from northern Sudan, they had no way to defend their general titles anymore. You know why? There is no longer that free flow of money like before, even though they still control the import-export out of Southern Sudan as they have structured the place. But that's not enough. They could not fund the propaganda that they sold to the new generation of Sudanese. Social media exposed that. And within a space of just 2-3 years, they kicked out their longest dictator. Person that was like, it was like a prophet to them. They grew up, most of them, when he took over power. Most of them were never born. Omar al-Bashir, they revered him. He was teaching them about Sharia, the teachings of Allah. Do not drink alcohol. Do not carry women. Do not do this, do not do that. Do not steal. But within 3 years that Southern Sudan broke away from the North, revolution started. Bam! They could not sustain that propaganda anymore. They had nobody to blame. Sudan was broke. And Omar al-Bashir became history. But that didn't end there. They decided they wanted to go for democracy, so they decided to bring in a democratic president. Just this past week, a coup took place in Sudan, the same North. The military tried to, And the people were like, you would rather kill us. No. We don't want you, the military. The generation you have right now is not the same generation like our parents. This is no longer about Sharia. When we broke into the palace of Omar al-Bashir, we saw all kinds of imported hot drink, alcohol. He had a bar inside his palace. Meanwhile, he's always attending Jumat. He's always reading Quran every Ramadan and all of that. He was a figure. Until the source of funding that propaganda started dwindling when the South cut off. Let's come back to Nigeria. You see, have you managed to picture northern Nigeria and southern Nigeria in the Sudanese scenario I just painted now? Maybe not, yeah? Maybe yes. Look at this. Babagana Kingibe was at a symposium. I think it was in Anambra just a few days ago. And he was talking, because nobody can deny the state of things in Nigeria as we speak. You have heard so many people say so many things. You know, Oduduwa Republic is just a fallacy. Biafra is impossible. But guess what? The reason why the Biafra, the Oduduwa Republic, or even the southern Nigeria breaking away from the northern Nigeria is simply because the elites from both sides, they are yet to come to terms with the level of danger they have sunk Nigeria into yet. But that doesn't mean they are not talking about it. Babagana Kingibe said, with the uprising in Nigeria, with all these things about Biafra and what have you, they are really good conversation we should have. Yes, Nigeria should be a country of many, many countries. Or let me say a country of many, many nations. And so far, so good. We have all come to terms that this arrangement is fraudulent. And we never agreed at any point in time to this current arrangement in Nigeria at any point in time. So the fact that we know that, and the elites themselves, they are talking about it. They haven't come to terms with it, on that, which is fine. But here is the bullet points. You may be preparing for an election simply because of where your bread is buttered, or where you look forward to on your next survivor meal. Depends on where your pendulum swings, okay? Except Nigeria and those elites who believe that breaking Nigeria will make them lose a lot, even though they are losing so much right now that they are secretly pretending not to. Except Nigeria and all these elites come to terms to the fact that except Nigeria cancel this fraudulent arrangement, solidified, tatteredly put together by a fraudulent constitution that is so questionable that can't really stand any test of time against any international, constitutional law book of any reasonable country. Except that is completely dismantled. What you don't want to lose if Nigeria break up, you are going to lose everything as long as Nigeria exists. That conversation that the elites are avoiding, but discussing, codedly, they will become more public soon as more of them become victims of their own silence. I like using that word. So, Babagana Kingibe reiterate the importance of renegotiating Nigeria and the right of any part that want to break away to do so after sitting down together, there are many things to consider before you break away. There are many options to consider before you finally reach that, which is part of the conversation I'm talking about, right? He said, I said, the elite are yet to buy into the possibility of Nigeria breaking up, but educating them with the happenings now, maybe can help for some of them who have the chance of watching me. Nigeria has gotten to a stage where it's like a plane that is nose diving and is crashing, and everyone on board has an exit parachute, to exit and probably jump to safety. But some people are open that maybe something is going to happen that will change the direction, even though the pilots are not doing anything different than the same thing that led to the plane, currently in crash mode. They are not doing anything different, but they are open and they are holding on to those who wanted to jump out and use their own safety parachute to land somewhere and sort themselves out. And this is why Nigeria is it's kind of wired this way. I have told you a few times about how dependent Nigeria is, how they manage to, after forcing everybody together as one, so that everybody will look up to the center. If you are favored by the center, then Nigeria is for you. So the few that got access to that center and those who kill to gain access to that center is not because they want to make the center more accessible or pretty much free the center of the burden of bringing everybody all together to one place, which has caused so much acrimony, which has made some people position themselves as the givers and takers of life, of wealth, the people who can tell you who is a criminal, who is not a criminal, the people that, the system that will tell you this person is a thief, he is a criminal, and another person will come, the same system that investigated him of fraud and corruption, the same system will clear him and they will make him another minister, right? A rigged system. So it depends on how it favors you. And the way Nigeria is structured again, right? As you have one center, you see those who are now attached, who have access to that center, they are also at the privilege of giving to those selected fews who have access to them too. It is now like a network of corruption, rigged, fraudulent system that even somehow you are benefiting from it indirectly, or even maybe you even know or you don't, because that's how it's structured. But let me break it down. Nigeria, the reason why the elite are not keen into the possibility of Nigeria breaking up peacefully is this. When we went into the agreement of Nigeria as the West, the East, the North, and the Midwest or Middle Belt, the arrangement was that we are our own boss and bosses. But in anything, in any situation that concerns all of us, like security, we can come together on a single accord to defend ourselves. When it comes to monetary policy, in order not to create imbalance in how we operate this economy, can we choose and keep this pound sterling, which is the currency we are all used to? All these agreements are few others that actually kind of make us, apart from that, diplomatically, each region had the clearance, the independence to set up their own embassies all over the world.
That was the arrangement. Nobody was going to anybody to borrow. Nobody was going to anybody with guns to take from them and using military, using this and that. That wasn't the beginning of Nigeria until 1966. So from 1966, they restructured Nigeria to what has become the Fulani-dominated, oligarch-rigged system. It's been for a while, right? With a political language that makes them feel like one northern Nigeria, which was never one northern Nigeria. So when they brought this structure together, that structure became a servitude structure that then says, before you elect the next council chairman, before you appoint the next magistrate court, there must be an approval from the center controlled by Godoswu. That wasn't the beginning. So that influence, that control started from 1966. That's the structure you have now. And as the government is like, everybody look up to the center. So are the people who are the victim of the wrong policies of the successful criminals over the years, the victims of their policies, so are they also looking up to every single person from their tribe that have access, that has access to that center. They look up to them. So as those people who have access to the center, milking the center on your behalf, are defending the center, which is now one Nigeria, many of those who are benefiting from them too, regionally, from every local part, from all over southern Nigeria, people benefiting from their goodwill, free food, free clothes, and free other things they give to them. People benefiting from them they also have to defend them. That is why it is a chain reaction. When everybody says Nigeria is terrible, this Nigeria is so terrible, it's so worse, like, you know, then when you say, then let us break it up into what it used to be so that we can manage our affairs, then the reaction is the same. If you break it up, what will happen to our own philanthropist politician in our area that stole money for electricity, stole money for good roads, stole money for good education and infrastructures, stole money and took bribe to sell off your jobs to those who would rather use you as casual laborers when you are told to go to school and get education, so that when you get when you have education, you have a key to success. So the people who sold off your job through their corrupt policies over the years, and the reward of their corruption and complicity in all of this over the years has made them more richer and more kind of free givers to you who have been denied those opportunities. So it will affect them. They will no longer have the leverage, the advantage to continue to sit where bad deals that forced you to remain servitude, subservient, second-class citizens in your own country. Same people, same promises, same results, and you, repeated action. So what does that mean? It means the chain reaction, when you say break Nigeria, the reason why it is kind of always like this. Come and break it now. Come and break it. The propaganda of the North, that those who have been controlling that power for decades, who have not succeeded in using that power to keep the northern Nigeria safe, prosperous, more developed. I mean, who failed in that capacity and decided to blame those failures on those who are asking to break away from Nigeria, the southern Nigeria, who are asking to break away from southern Nigeria. The only way to sustain that And why these reactions are like that is because of the connectivity of how Nigeria is. You cannot do anything from any, and even, let me even give you a practical example so that you understand what I mean by the connectivity of all this. A constitution in Nigeria that was never debated, there was never a referendum, there was never involvement of the people in when they write the constitution, when the military wanted to hand over to democratic government in 1999. That constitution gave power to whoever is the president of Nigeria. Okay? Literally, right? If you are president, you have 90% power to do anything, including if you choose to concentrate the government funding, the government, the government attention to a particular region. That's how much power given to whoever is the president in the executive of Nigeria. Then made all other organs of that government kind of, subordinates, partners in crime. Rub my back, I rub your back. That is not people's constitution. Right? Now, with that power, it means every penny generated across Nigeria, you can only keep the one the center allows you to keep. You can only access those resources allowed you by the center. Right? There are other influences underneath, but on the surface, that center allows you to do whatever you want to do when they want you to do it, and for whatever reason they want you to do it for. Therefore, everybody have to go to that center to seek permission to be able to walk around and develop their region. That wasn't what we started with in 1960. I hope you remember that, right? The local government, the business communities, the religious communities, all these areas are now controlled, influenced, even funded or denied funding by whoever is at the center. And they don't have to say, we are taking this away. No. It's just through policies. So that control that was taken away from the regions, given to the center, has now been wielded so wrongly like never before. Now look at it this way. Imagine for 1 minute that the Apapa Wharf, the tin can, all the ports in Lagos, imagine they shut everything down. And they decided that every ship, every importation into Nigeria must go through Calabar Port, must go through Onitsha, must go through that River Niger, Onitsha, that they have been dredging and stealing and looting on for ages. Imagine if somebody just wake up tomorrow. I'm a Yoruba man now, okay? And the Lagos state is in Yoruba land. Deliberately, through policies over the years, they decided never to open up other places where they have access to the same Atlantic Ocean that Lagos state have access to. But when you read your history, when you read what they want you to read in school, they don't prioritize them. You know why? Because there are people in there that knows that for Nigeria to still remain under their control, they cannot let that happen. That is policy that has made millions of people from that part of the country poorer than they should have been. Policy. Without anybody saying, did we stop you from developing the place? Hello? You can't develop a port if the center doesn't give you that. Not even your state governor can try it. You can't build the airport if the center doesn't give you the clearance. And it doesn't matter the expert you have. You can't do it. That is Nigeria for you. And somebody at that center can decide for his own reason that you don't deserve that airport. Not because, for your own economic reason, you actually can build one. You can create jobs through it. You can build your own ports using your own resources that can create millions of jobs. But with one single policy, you can build ports from now till 100 years. There will be no ship that will be directed there. If any ship is caught around there, the government of Nigeria will then bring their own resources. They will confiscate them. They will run at loss. And that will be a warning from anybody from trading with you. And that is how Nigeria is structured. The elite are not understanding what they are losing on that part as long as Nigeria remain one, because you know why? They are fighting for the slot of who is going to be collecting taxes on behalf of Nigeria so that they can collect rubber percentage that will make them rich, very rich, and give the rest to the government at the center, who also have the power as well, the way Nigeria is structured, that every money that now comes from everywhere, we're all going to a jar. It doesn't matter where this money is contributed from. They will now share the money according to their laid down rules that nobody actually agreed to. The Yorubas were not consulted when they started their revenue sharing formula. No, they consulted themselves. They passed it among themselves. Like they decided to give 13% derivation formula, 13% to those who are giving them 100% crude oil from the Niger Delta. They did not go to the people of Niger Delta like, do you want us to give you 13% from your 100%? Or do you want to take over your 100% and give us 13%? They did not talk to Niger Delta people. Because they have the power over war, violence. Yeah? They didn't have to go and negotiate with them. They just spoke to their political class, their elites. And once they agreed on a deal, 13% is enough. And that 13% now, they are moving again to take it off. That is the same thing with VAT. When you generate all your VAT, you give 100% to the center. And the center can then say, okay, we'll give you this back. We'll give you that back. So from whatever they now give back to you, after other limitation sets against you, right? Then you have to go back and build schools, pay teachers good wages. You have to make sure that the students and the children have access to better education and their learning environment, right? You have to go and build roads. You have to ensure there is power, which, well, you can't. You have to ensure that the medical system and the healthcare system is working and functioning optimally and up to date. And those who are working there are getting paid, getting real reward for their life-saving job that they are doing. Now you have to live with that. On top that, you have to take care of those Jegudu Jeras, the politicians who position themselves as the recurrent expenditure earners from your money. Last, you have nothing left to actually give back to that same people. But you have something. You can weaponize that poverty to your own advantage so that you can always be the one to say, if not for me, some of you won't go to school. If not because I built this 1,000 schools and I couldn't do anything about the remaining 50,000 schools. If not because I built those 1,000, some of you won't have education. If not because our crony capitalism is working, that we steal money from you. We build hotels, we build shopping malls, we rent them out, we take rent, we don't pay tax. And whenever we need to even pay the staff, we can always just link them to the state like they are doing in Lagos State. Link them to the state payroll. The state will pay them. Crony capitalism, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And when you expect the result of, oh, with all these beautiful ideas and all of this nonsense they are telling you, how come more people are poorer? Because they are just lying to you most of the time, I mean, all the time. Crony capitalism. So the elites who are fighting to, one another, to see who is going to take over, who is going to be the next person to rob you, who is, they are jostling. Because as Nigeria is structured, that is the only way of survival they have ever known. Not knowing that a structured system that makes you servitude, like Nigeria, they are not going to last. They won't. And the earlier the elite, who knows that their naira today has become so valueless because of the likes of Buhari, they know that the level of now this is another one. Through policies, the government can say you are a criminal for asking for referendum, like they are doing right now, because they control all the levels of power, like the old people who were controlling Sudan. In their head, they are still fighting the war to keep Nigeria one, and any of you who come up against that will be declared an enemy. But if there are those whose agenda is just Sharia, they just want, some of you are just misunderstanding them. They are not bandits, like Liar Mohammed said. He said, these terrorists in northern Nigeria that are collecting taxes, they don't have caliphates. They don't have any caliphate in northern Nigeria. They don't really control anywhere. The only thing is that the people that are paying taxes to them, they are not different from those of you who are paying Roja or Agbero in Lagos. That's what Liar Mohammed said. Because if the government says they are not really criminal or terrorists, no matter what they do, that is the policy. And the only way to sustain it is to continue to tell the population from there who are facing this terrorism never to see them as terrorists. Just see them as some misguided. With time, we'll take care of them. You need to pay attention to those who want to break Nigeria. If they break Nigeria, you are going to go hungry. We cannot, you see, all this whole thing will blow up. And you see all these terrorists in southern Nigeria, they are the terrorists. So they are the people who want to break Nigeria, and they are the people who should worry about. You see, the reason why the propaganda will last now is because the Southerners haven't come to that reality yet. That a plane that is crashing and the government that can tell you that, yes, the insecurity in Nigeria has brought us to this state where many nationalities across southern Nigeria are now agitating and even asking to break away from Nigeria. But their political class, their elites, they are neither here nor there, quiet, waiting for their turn. Maybe if they lose out on their own next turn, then they will join us. The reason is because the failure of those who have held on to power, and they have further divided Nigeria between the north and the south. And they are not even hiding it. They are getting the backing of the same victims of this terrorism in northern Nigeria, because the propaganda up there is that those who are doing this, government will deal with them. You should pray. But pay attention to these southerners who want to break us. They want to break Nigeria. If they break Nigeria, we are in trouble. And they are right. They will be in trouble. A big one. Southern Sudan, Northern Sudan is cooking up in Nigeria, but the elites are yet to actually join the fray, but they will join. When the populace continue to react to the failure of the leadership of Nigeria and the division that they've brought upon us, the revolution that will sweep everyone off their feet. And we will get there. We now have jailbreak in Yoruba land, attempted jailbreak in Yoruba land. Things that are alien to us, things that we were probably reading about back then. I mean, things that you probably would never imagine 5 years ago when this APC, Egbekegbe, were coming in. And I noticed something when I was reading about the Sudanese and the breakup. The northern political power order back then, yeah, they had this arranged, organized chaos in different parts of the southern Nigeria in order to prove to some southerners then that it was wrong to protect or defend any group fighting for the breakup of the Southern Sudanese from the north. But something then happened too, until everyone finally agreed. The 5 clans, if not 6, of Southern Sudan of today, they were like kind of us in southern Nigeria. You have the Middle Beltans who are always politically pronounced as Northern Nigeria or North Central. You have the Biafrans up to the Niger Deltans, and then you have also the Oduduwans. But when you look at us today, many of those who agree that Nigeria is not working and should in fact either go back to the regionalism that everyone agreed to back then or completely break up in southern Nigeria. They continue to point out why they can't come together, why Yorubas can't come together with the Biafrans, why the Biafrans, the Igbos Biafrans can't come together with the coastal Biafrans, why the Middle Beltans, who are majorly Southerners, can't really agree with the rest of the South, and all agree that except we break away from this arrangement, this difference that they are telling you to manage, non-negotiable, right, will continue to kill us. Maybe if we do like the Southern Sudanese, for example, we know we have a lot of differences too, because yes, ours wasn't like Southern Sudan, Northern Sudan. Ours was like we knew where we or who we were before we agreed to be part of Nigeria. But here we are. The difference here is that you have the Northern Sharia inclined, Sharia oriented Taliban and then Al-Qaeda, jihadists, apologists who are in government systematically, well, not longer systematically, broad daylight, forcing ideas, forcing policies that represent this Sharia-laced Islamic Republic of Nigeria, something that should never even come to play at all. And I can give you examples. This criminal government said we should give our lands to killer terrorists, Boko Haram, if we want peace. We said no, and we've never known peace since then. They said we should agree with the water resources bill, water resources law, that will give the control of all the waterways in southern Nigeria. the control of all the waterways to the Fulani government of Nigeria, controlled by the northern Sharia jihadist apologists. And not just your waterways. 6 miles off the coast, of the water bank of your waterways, which means 6 kilometers to every waterway you have in southern Nigeria is no longer yours. Now belongs to Fulani Republic of Nigeria, which in their way is to resettle the same people you rejected through Ruga, cattle colony, open grazing, grazing route, and so many other forceful Sharia policies that they have made to be federal government policies of Nigeria. The things that have riled the locals, riled the nationals across the country to say, no, 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 we're not going to do this. So if you can test all their policies, they are Sharia laced, and they are the reason why everybody says, we'd rather go our separate ways and not be part of this. Let's have that conversation now. So if we all leave those differences and make it the North versus the South as they have made it, when you said no to open grazing, they said that move is anti-Northern Nigeria. How can you ban open grazing? Meanwhile, Katsina, Kaduna, Niger, and just recently Gombe, Bauchi, they announced the ban of movement of cows. In their states, they ban the sale of cows in their markets, major Fulani markets in their state. They banned them. But they all came together to say they disagree with Southern Nigeria banning open grazing. Is that not double standard? They then said doing that is a plot against the Northern Nigeria. So maybe when the South begin to see that, I'm not talking about these elites now, because they are yet to come to that time. They are still fighting for 2023. Who is going to have the next access? Who is going to have access to the freebies so that they can become the next superstars? They can become the next, philanthropists. They can recoup whatever they are going to offer you now. Money, food, temporary job, vuvuzela job, most of it. So they are likely never going to agree with us. The religious body will never likely to agree with us. You know why? As Nigeria is built to be that way, their job to remain in business, many of them in Nigeria, is to continue to control how you react when these criminals come up with these direct draconian attacks and policies on you. They direct your attention to God. They tell you to seek this, to seek that. All of this is part of the whole scheme that make up Nigeria. So if Nigeria break up, probably some of you are going to come to term and go after those politicians, go after those who will take over, that they will never treat you the same way Nigeria treated you. And when you are not treated the same way Nigeria treated you, you are likely never going to be one of those that will continue to believe in their fake prophecies, the one that they intentionally plant out there to give you hope that one day God will single you out among millions and bless you so that you can know God exists and prove it to the remaining millions that they don't know God, or God doesn't really like them as like you. So then you come back and say, thank you, God. So when you keep hoping, they keep renewing the hope for you every year. It is part of the scheme. So that is why you probably get offended when your pastor or your church or your religion or something you believe so much in is mentioned, forgetting the fact that that should have been something personal until your pastor told you to pray to God for Nigeria to be better, until Buhari decided to go to Mecca. He goes to Mecca every time to go and pray inside the Kaaba. And since he's been praying there, Nigeria has been getting worse. Now, when I say that, you will feel offended because they have wired you to be so connected through that religion, right? That you will agree with everything. Oh, Mayegu. No. Don't go there. Don't go there. Buhari is just a madman. Allah loves the people because you get offended. You know why? Because you were told that even if you are a sinner, even if you have no idea, if you walk into Kaaba and you have the privilege as one as the VIP to go into that Kaaba itself and pray, everything you say at that point will come to pass. And let me tell you something. I have been a Muslim myself, and I know what I'm talking about. But when you look at the politicians who come out to say, I am a Muslim, and they begin to show attitude that make you think, oh, for the fact that this man could go to Mecca and pray to Allah, I believe him. That is all they needed you to do. And that is where they have linked your leadership in that country to religion that connects you. Since you are connected, when they fail, you have possibly no kind of clearer thinking faculty to blame them, because they can easily say they are doing their best. Some enemies are making it worse, like Buhari is doing. They will then make you think that same Allah, in the same house of Allah, that they told you in that holy book, that if you serve Allah diligently and you get to that place and you pray, whatever you say there will come to pass. When you finish, pick up the stones and go and stone the shaitan. When you perform all these rituals as a faithful Muslim, you expect something in return, don't you? When your leaders have access to where you have no access to, even reaching God, you expect something back, don't you? But they go there every time. You think they go there to pray to your Allah, they go there to go and pray to Kaaba, they go there because they have this and that. They go there because they know you are watching. You need to know they are Muslims. They need to convince you that their mind is clean. Even when they come back to pardon terrorists, even when they come back to pardon criminals and reward terrorists, reward the corrupt criminals, and they tell you, we are doing our best. And the result of that is more death, more people displaced, more poverty. And we say, but this guy went to Mecca to pray. Does that mean that Allah didn't listen to him? Then you will become offended. My God, don't talk like that. Don't talk like that. Don't talk about Allah like that. Because you are wired that way. That's how you are wired. Everything else makes sense. But when it comes to that thing, you believe that God. Nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing makes sense anymore. Because you are wired that way. Congratulations to you if you are no longer that way. Oh. If you have managed to separate your spiritual life from all the jargons that politicians continue to parade themselves as they talk to God. Because they play God all the time. That's the way they psychologically connect to you. When you open the paper, you will see Christian Association of Nigeria. Christian Association of Nigeria says, we are not voting for any Muslim. We are voting for Christian. That's them. Yeah. They are working with your brains. They know the type of those that will present themselves as your Christians. Remi Tinubu is a pastor. I hope you know that. She is a deacon, or deaconess rather. She's a deaconess inside the Redeemed Church. Fake Pastor Ruga Ikene Shatabandu is the pastor in Redeemed Church. So, can Christian Association of Nigeria, they know that if you want Christian criminals, if you want Christians who wants to appear as Christians, you have them a lot. Politicians will act that up for you. They will read the Bible. They will quote everything. They will tell you about vision. Then the pastors, the reverend, they will then try to manage your mind and say, this person, God will touch him than that person. Oh, remember on the sacred day, on the this and that, on the 6th day of Sabbath, on the blah, 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 blah. They are just to walk you to say, but we don't have choice now. What do you want us to do? If I want to vote for anybody, any of these people, I would rather vote for a Christian. Do you know why you would think like that? Because they have planted those kind of options there based on what you have connection to. I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim. I will always be interested in what, if you're a real Muslim, you'll be interested in when somebody is talking like somebody who actually believes so much in Allah. And then you listen to the mullahs, you listen to the clerics, and they begin to tell you about different prophets, about different people who came, about people who changed this in the olden days, in this and that. They are walking your mind. So when the system finally produced the worst, because they always do, check the process that produces all their candidates. So when they now present them to you, you then be like, it's not that they are good, but I would rather vote for a Christian. You see me, I would rather vote for Buhari because he's a Muslim. It is not because they have anything to change your life. And you yourself, you have already conscripted yourself through all these means. That's about the religion. Like the way Nigeria is wired, you have some other businesses that are surviving because Nigeria is their bloodline, right? The people who owns them, they are in government. And you have a job. Oh, I'm the manager of a fantastic international or continental hotel. We have a staff of over 500. And we have branches all over 20 states in Nigeria, including Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Lagos. I am the general manager. We have, meanwhile, the people who stole money to build those hotels. I'm just using hotels now because that's the easiest way they launder their money, by the way. The people who stole the money, they didn't build the hotels to contribute to the economy of their different places. They are called Crony capitalism. So you will think you have job. And in their own way, when you see them everywhere, this Abdul Latif, Burudi Change, Abdullah Malik, General Hospital, Private Hospital, Abdul this and that, shopping complex, Abdul this and that, private school, all these private things they are building. And their proxies owning them. In their way, you will think they are creating jobs. Meanwhile, it is also a way of influencing the economy of many of you. That is why it is easier to say, you must vote for APC in Lagos State, and you must bring the proof that you voted for APC if you still want to work here next week. There are people that have been blackmailed to do that. Oh, I'm not making it up. So, little by little, that also influenced the decisions of many on what becomes the outcome of those that will come back to reel out all these devilish policies. That's how Nigeria is wired. So one way or the other, you are indirectly programmed and limited within the limited choices they are going to give you because they control that choice until now. And that is why social media became a threat. That is why the war they are waging on self-determination campaigners, the war they are waging on, the media war they are waging on IPOB should not surprise you. I consider Nigeria as a dying horse. And there's something they call the kick of a dying horse. The economy is ruined. There is no comeback from it. Those in charge are not channeling their resources to actually stop the bleeding. If tomorrow justice alone begins to happen in Nigeria, which is impossible. When I say justice, let's look at it this way. If carrying Biafran flag is a crime, there should be a law that says it's a crime. And that law, at the same time, shouldn't by any means be from the 1999 Constitution law put together, Decree 4 they call it, put together by the military and decided to stay behind the curtains and monitor how this goes before they will probably take it over again from those they handed it over to. That Constitution says you have the right to peaceful assembly. So the job of those who want to give justice should have been, normally, they have the secret police that will check, are these people violent? Or are they just about the Biafra? The security, the intel, if they were honest, will tell them they are non-violent, which means they will remain under constant watch of a non-biased security forces in a country. The security forces that will not put up criminal organizations to start killing people in order to justify the violence they have unleashed on a non-violent self-determination campaign group. So if they were so honest and just, they would have easily allowed the IPOB to continue their local mobilization, orientation, and enlightenment about Biafra. Nothing is new to any Biafran about Biafra, but keeping it up that way without having to criminalize them would have allowed us and the system to pick on anyone that is fomenting any trouble and be prosecuted according to whatever crime they commit. But Nigeria didn't do that. Now, on the same hand, if Nigeria and the security forces in Nigeria and the judicial system in Nigeria, the legal practice in Nigeria, if they are being just, if they had all come together to say, for the fact that whatever the grievances of those who have waged up a war against Nigeria and their sponsor, whatever their grievances, the fact that they chose violence, which they have done and proved for the past 12 years, if those who really care for justice wants to balance things, right? If they had actually channeled the resources of that country, when I say resources, I'm not talking about just the military. I'm talking about the judicial, the legal resources, which would have allowed the arrest, prosecution, and possibly conviction of whoever is caught whoever is caught in the act of terrorism. If they had not put together a propaganda to defend them and use the back door to give them a leeway, a freedom to, open door to freedom after committing terrorism, if they have not done that, let's say if they have had a legal structure, they actually arrested the terrorists from the early stage, prosecute them, prosecute their sponsors, send them to life imprisonment for what they have done, and then ensure that such never, ever congregate anywhere in Nigeria again. If you have any grievances with Nigeria, you can bring it to the table peacefully. Let's talk about it, which is the right way. If they have done that, that you and I, as we are watching today, we have seen those who use their position, whether they were Hausa, Fulani, Igbo, Yoruba, Ijo, Efik, Tifi, from wherever they come from, who have been in a position of trust. If the system has been just enough to make me and you today to be giving names of those who are serving life imprisonments because they use their positions to shortchange millions of Nigerians, that is a just society. It doesn't really mean that it has to be just everywhere. Oh, human rights abuse. Okay, you can have them at the minimum, at the barest minimum. Maybe if we have had that, we won't today be praying and working and doing everything we can to stop the Boko Haram gang from carrying us to the ditch, as we are so close. And when Nigeria, you see, when that plane finally boom, that is the revolution. And it can start from anywhere. At that time, they will lose all control. So if we have had a just society, the demand for Biafra, demand for Yoruba nation, the demand for Wararafa Republic, and so many other people that are still going to come up and say they want to leave Nigeria, as we go on into this, maybe they wouldn't have been this high. We can't protect ourselves or defend ourselves. We ask those that we gave that sovereignty to when they broke terrorists out of prison in Yoruba land. They don't have an answer. You remember this?
On the 16th of March 2021, an Iyagoku Magistrate Court in Ibadan ordered the remand of suspected kidnapper Iskilu Wakili and his two sons in the Abolongo Correctional Facility in Oyo State. Iskilu Wakili had since been in the news, alleged by residents of Ibarapa region of Oyo State to be responsible for a series of attacks, kidnappings, and killings in the area. The Chief Magistrate, Emmanuel Idowu, ordered that he be remanded in Abolongo Correctional Facility as he was charged with conspiracy, murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery. What Nigerians believed all along was that Iskilu Wakili was at the Abolongo Correctional Facility. On the 22nd of October, the unexpected happened at the Medium Facility, where Iskilu Wakili was expected and supposedly held. Immediately the news of the jailbreak filtered out, questions started popping. Where is Iskilu Wakili? Journalists kept asking questions, and the leadership of the Nigerian Correctional Service seemed to be evading the questions, and eventually they provided an answer that left so many in the dark.
In this custodial center, we don't have any high-profile inmate. The only person we have is that person who has a case with EFCC. And for your information, he's still with us here. He didn't go to anywhere.
Iskilu Wakil.
Where is he? He is not here.
Sunday Shodipesa.
He is not here.
When asked to shed light and expand on the almost unclear information provided concerning the status of Iskilu Wakili, the spokesperson of the service in Oyo State, Mr. Lanre Anjorin, said the public should believe whatever the federal government has told them concerning the matter.
According to what the minister, that is Ogbeni Rauf Arendeshola, and the Controller General through the DCG admin AM Tuko said yesterday, that's not actually what they said is Wakil and the other person are not incarcerated in Oyo Kopodia Center. That's what they were saying yesterday.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, but according to the news we had, sometimes in March, it was to be remanded in Abolongo Custodial Center. So what happened?
Well, generally, one other part of our duty is that when anybody is incarcerated with us, we have within the purview of our job to do transfers or to change. So definitely, if somebody was incarcerated in a particular place, it doesn't mean that that person will be kept in that particular place.
Okay, can you tell us where exactly Wakili is?
Well, I don't have that information with me. I'm not. I mean, I can't actually tell you that information. But then I can tell you that if the minister gives that information yesterday that they are not kept there, then definitely wherever they are safe.
Members of the public are also concerned about the status of the high-profile inmate that we all thought was at the facility until the unexpected happened. The question on their lips also is, where is Iskilu Wakili?
And the one that even happened in the Okyogun area, Gono area, how many people being killed by Fulani? No one has been arrested. Have you heard about the news that one Fulani has been persecuted or jailed? Since the first 6 years in this government, nothing has been done. And the ordinary man will come on the street and talk to the federal government. The next day they will get him arrested. The federal government are behind it.
I have never seen them talking truth in life right from the beginning, so I don't expect truth from them. I know what they can do. They will escape this Iskilu Wakilu. They will shed him. They will protect him.
Not to put ethnic coloration to the situation on ground, but it becomes imperative to ask what the federal government is doing at this time. If personalities from different regions and different agitations have been given wide publicity, why was Wakili's case given the treatment it was given? It will be on record that not enough information was known and given concerning his status at the incarceration center, moved or not, released or not. Perhaps the federal government should stop parring details and let the world indeed know where is Wakili.
I hope that give you an insight to what we are now dealing with in Yoruba land. There will be more of that. Where is Iskilu Wakili? The facility released some names. Let me see if I can bring them up for you. I want to try and make sure that, yeah. Thank you, MOB. Sure, I am working on that, getting all those, some of these videos shot out. There's these shots on YouTube. I've not had the time to begin to make them. So there are videos but don't worry. I get what you mean. Short clips that still delivers the message. Like, maybe not as detailed as live broadcast. Well, yeah, it's a good idea. And I've been working on that. So now let's look at this. These are the people they said escaped. And I have been looking at all the names. I don't know if many of you can see the names. Yeah. I have been looking at them. Where is I again? I've been looking at them. And this is what, where is I? Good. I don't know if you can see that on your screen. So, yeah, I'll use this. Those are the images. They said the place, as of 2016, the facility had the capacity of
1,000 or so, and 1,500 or thereabout. They said 900 people escaped, and they released their images. If you can see that on your screen, yeah. Nigerian correctional facility released the images. They released the images, but there is no image of Wakili. Iskil Wakil. There's no image of him, and there's no detail of where is Iskil Wakil. And people have now been reporting that they have been under attack from some of the escapee, the awaiting trial, the prisoners and the rest of them that left Abolongo, and the government is shielding. Meanwhile, the man that once, called our attention, Oloye Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, who called our attention to the atrocities of the Fulani terrorists in this part of Oyo State. He was hunted down. He was attacked enough that they killed 2 people in his house. And today, with collaboration with the Benin Republic, they decided to hold Oloye Sunday Igboho and shut their courts. When they first arrested Oloye Sunday Adeyemo Igboho in Benin Republic, it wasn't going to Benin Republic, it was transiting. And they said they received an order from Nigeria to arrest him if they see him. And they called him back from boarding the plane, and that was eventually when they picked him. Their court was working. Within 2 days or 3 days, they took him to court, and that they spent the whole day discussing why Nigeria decided that they should hold him. Nigeria didn't present any evidence. In Nigeria, Oloye Sunday Adeyemo's legal team, they've already fought in court and they've won. And the court ordered that Nigeria should stop harassing him or trying to arrest him because he's committed no crime. Nigeria then awarded, Nigerian court then awarded Nigeria a penalty for what they did at his house. 20 billion naira penalty. They have not appealed that judgment. They have not appealed the case that Oloye Sunday Igboho is still fighting them with because it's not over. They didn't do anything. Benin Republic read the news. But because this is about Nigeria and what they are, they've been told, Oloye Sunday Igboho, a man that sacrificed his comforts when the rest of this political class abandoned the Yorubas, and he paid hugely for it, including his freedom now, right? But as much as the Iskili Wakili is no longer, they can no longer account for him. Normally, if he is still in their custody, it's been over 4 or 5 days now, and they are yet to actually bring him out and say, he's here. All of you saying it's not here, he's here. So that we can at least believe that the ringleader is there and they should present his 2 sons too. So that we can say, okay, fine. Go and find the rest. Now that we know that Iskili Wakili is with you. But it's been over 5 days. And they have not. They just said, believe whatever we tell you. But the people are not abandoning Oloye Sunday Igboho. Kudos to these great people who went to the Benin Republic consulate or embassy in America to go and meet their own Benin Republic ambassador to America. And they met with her, according to them. And trust me, it is really, really, it's really great to see. And I'm going to share that with you, by the way. If you are one of the people who actually went today, I'm saying thank you to you from all of us, because especially the person who delivered this message. I'm so sorry I didn't pick your name. However, we're grateful for this on behalf of Oloye Sunday Adeyemo Igboho.
So, and then, we started from the beginning from 2015 when, the Marudas, the Fulani Marudas had been kidnapping, raping, maiming, and getting ransom. raping older women from 80 to 90 years old, raping young girls, killing. We told them, we told them. And the ambassador was very kind. He listened to us. He understood where we're coming from. And we told him all we wanted is Benin Republic to release Chief Sunday Adeyemo, alias Igboho. He has done nothing. He's a civil rights activist and is fighting for his people. The same way President Gallon actually fled for his life. That is what Sunday Igboho tried to do. They went to his house at the middle of the night at 1:35 a.m. Nigerian government trashed his house, shot 2 men, dragged the bodies away. We can't even, till now, they have not released the bodies of the dead 2 men to their families. They trashed, shot at the cars in his house, so he fled for his life. And on his transit to Germany, they called him back from the plane, and since then, for over 3 months, he's been in detention. The Nigerian government has lost the case against him. They have awarded him 20 billion naira. So we just wanted to know why Benin Republic is still holding an innocent man in prison or in detention. Let him leave. He needs to go back to his family in Germany. Yoruba people demand self-determination. It's recognized by the United Nations. We are not terrorists. We have done nothing. The Fulani Marudas are the ones raging and kidnapping and killing Yoruba people. Yoruba has been in existence on the land that is occupied over 30,000 years. The Fulani came in 1804 to Nigeria. They are the visitors. The hospitality is what Yorubas are known for. We accommodated them. They became terrorists. They started taking our land. Enough is enough. Yoruba nation.
Now.
Yoruba nation.
Now.
Yoruba nation.
Now.
Thank you very much to every one of you. Message well delivered. And we say thank you. I mean, who would not want a better future for their children? I mean, in a better country, well managed by you. There's this video making rounds. It's been viral. And we have been told that this is Semakoko in Lagos. Children that are supposed to be the future of tomorrow. And you'll be surprised that this is actually Lagos, where Tifnumbu has created or has found, geniuses that can change Nigeria, change anything. Swagger 23. This is Lagos. I mean, that this actually is existing should tell you, the future is gone. Then they moved to their classes. Children who are going to make Nigeria great tomorrow. The only way you will understand that people, or what Nigeria has done to people has been really, it's been so terrible. Some people said, why would any teacher put his children through that kind of horrible experience? Then others said they would never allow their own students, some who are teachers, they were like, I would never allow my children, my own student to walk inside that dirty, dangerous water. A lot of people said a lot of things. I actually put out a request that if we get to know this school, if we get to know the children, apart from the fact that the authority needs to get all the children. Some people said, how could any parent send their own child or their children to such place and subject children to such? Many were reacting angrily. Some were tearing, crying. That is this even real? Are you saying this exists? Worse exists. You see those children? That is where they live. They didn't come from somewhere and they come to a school flooded. That is Makoko in Lagos State. If you want to know the damages done by these criminals in Yoruba land, please, if you have the liver, take a tour from that your opulence Lekki and begin to go to those interior. And you will see the poverty they've used fence and feelings and the sea to cover from you. Unfortunately, your existence, your survivor, your cook, your driver, your car wash, your gardener, your this, your that, your houseboy, this and that, they come from those shanty that they make you pretend they don't exist. Those children live in such environments. That's where they were born. That's where they got growing up. That is where they have managed to get that little access to education. And that is the future they are hiding from you. And if you have to have a statistics, if you need number, I have just given you the location. Go to Makoko, go to Morocco. You will understand the future they are telling you about. You will understand where are they getting the product, the materials that are filling up the Agberoism, the local terrorism that Laya Muhammad called them. Where are they getting the materials from? They are getting them from there. Now, among them, you probably will see one athlete who finally somehow feels like the way to fight out of this poverty. Look at all these children we are growing up together. There's absolute nothing for us. Some of them will decide to go into sports. Not that Nigeria is going to help them. Then you will see maybe one that will come out and say, hey, he's a footballer, the best footballer. If you see, you know what I mean? He comes from Makoko. There's nothing God cannot do. One, out of all those children, one. If they are lucky, if that generation is lucky enough. That one, when he finally makes it that all of you are now watching him on social media, you are seeing him on your phone, you are seeing him here and there. They will now be using him as a poster boy
for the rest of those children who didn't make it, who are now into God knows what in the world, creating the havoc of Nigeria you have today. They will now use that single one as a symbol. Can't you try to be like JJ Okocha? Okocha that is so good that they named him twice. So Okocha don't go through what you they go through. Say, but Baba, why you self no be like Dangote? Dangote na your mate, Papa. See where we they live. You they blame me. You burn me here. You burn all of us inside this place. You can't they complain, say we no be like JJ, we no be like Kano, we no be like this. Example of those ones. Go and bring all JJ mates where them grow together. Go and bring them out. Go and bring all go and bring Kano. You know, I'm just giving those instances. That is what they don't want you to see. Those are the abandoned majority that have nobody speaking for them. If you want to know more about how rotten and how poverty has eaten deeper, especially in Yoruba land, go to Cocoon Foundation on Instagram. Go there. You will see poverty in real life. You will see it. As in, if you are doing a research and you want to understand how much damages these criminals have done, how much people they have dug into poverty without touching them, just stealing from them, denying them access. You see, when you don't give the children the proper education, if you don't give them, so they will have, some of them will have to go and have access to that adulterated education. Education that teaches them just survive, even if you have to kill anybody for it. Papa, just make it. You go ask for forgiveness later. This life, no balance. Just do anything where you feel do to make calm. Nobody go ask you. It is true adulterated miseducation. And that's what majority actually got. They call it education. So when you deny them that, they are, you know, if you fail to put them in schools, like if you fail to open the doors of a school, you are systematically opening the door of prisons. And you see, when they get miseducated, they will come back to haunt the rest of you who manage to survive, also come out. That is why today in Nigeria, people are not joining the police force because they want to fight crime. They are joining police because they want to manage and run away from poverty. Last, even within them too, poverty still they chase them because it is Nigeria. And in return, it can't be like dog, they eat dog. Police were supposed to protect the vulnerable. Now them, they come, they extort, brutalize, and even kill. So that a policeman can go home and be able to feed his wife and children at the expense of somebody else's blood. Dog eats dog. It is the society. You cannot pray it away. You cannot wish it away. But if you understand how complex this has become and what awaits all of us in the future, you will join us to prevent it. How do we prevent that? Like this. You are going to be bamboozled with different promises by the system that is currently doing their only two-way. Not even little, a lot, to systematically prepare you for another El Dorado journey 2023. And as they are going to touch every single kind of open link within any open gap within your brain, they will finger it. And don't tell me it's impossible, Mayegun, because some of you are already indirectly, in fact, openly, rejecting the breakup of Nigeria. And when we ask you, what do you think should be the solution? You have no idea. Some of you are still repeating restructuring. Some of you are still, you know what I'm talking about? But I know better. The only thing that will shake and change everything is that revolution you don't want to hear about. So they are going to finger your brain. Press your mumu buttons. And they are going to make you wait again. And many of you are going to begin to hope again on what PDP, APC, Egbekegbe, and their churches, their mosques, the prophecies, the fake all those things they are going to use to try and finger your brain. So when you hear anything about referendum, when you hear anything about a new constitution, when you hear anything about Biafra, a Yoruba nation, you will become instant hostile. Baba, forget it. That's impossible, Jare. That one, see, Mayegun, I agree with you, everything you have been saying. But let me tell you, so that is impossible for now. So we need to do something. Now, at least we cannot just be waiting for when you're, okay, who is waiting? Who told you that you have to wait? Is it not because you want to wait? No, it's just that Mayegun, see, we need to still do some election because these people are going to appoint anybody they want and all of that. We'll say, okay, so referendum can wait. So that when you elect the one you want, we can come back to a referendum, Abi. I mean, like, that's what I think anyway, which is good. I mean, at least you are thinking. What I'm saying is that, your case is going to be like that of a madman that is doing the same thing again and again, then expecting a different result. So you are doing this for them because they are going to make you do it, support it, promote it. You are doing it for them. Then they are going to fail. So then you can come back to a referendum. Come on. That's something I have in private, conversation I do have in private. When people will say, Mayegun, I agree. I understand what you are saying. You see, this whole thing cannot work that way. Nigeria cannot just, you see, we need people that can change as Baba. Which people? Who do you need? You need yourselves, but you are not ready. Majority are not ready. Until more people begin to understand that connection, that network, I mean, that kind of a link up, how Nigeria is structured, how you are mentally programmed, and how much as educated as you are, a little thing can trigger you to agree that Nigeria should remain one. Even if you agree that Nigeria should break up on so many reasons, they have a place right there in your brain. It's been there. Subconsciously, it's been there. They will tap it. That's the one I'm talking to now. That subconscious brain of yours that I know they will tap. The one that always tell you, I like everything Mayegun is saying, but Nigeria cannot. You see, it's impossible for now. Something is telling you that. Something is telling you that it is impossible for people to come together and say enough. But that same thing that they planted there will soon fizzle out. It will fake out. You will no longer feel that in the long run. Because I'm telling you now, something tells you, do this first, then you can do that later. Listen, sure, you are agreeing that it is going to fail. If that is going to be your own meeting point, it's called kicking the can down the road. The final solution will still be for everybody to come together and say, if for anything at all, let the southern Nigeria break away from northern Nigeria. Let me give you an idea of what that will look like. For those of you that they keep telling that northern Nigeria is bigger than southern Nigeria, blah, 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 blah. The moment the people of Middle Belt, the people of, where is that my map again? Yeah, found it. The people of Yoruba land, the people of Biafra, the people of the coastal Biafras and the rest of them, the moment they begin to say, you know what, are we going to practice regionalism first to first break away from these people so that we can have our own constitution that says we can all go our different ways if we want to in the future. So once the South says, oh boy, let's do it, this is what will happen. This is Nigeria's map, okay? You see, the only place that those who have fraudulently managed to manipulate the rest of the country for years through the force of arm and the bribery that they give to those collaborators from the South, wealth they share to them, that makes them so much attractive and become the center of the center of gravity that attracts everything they say represents Yoruba or represents your tribe or represents your people in a way. This is the map. Now, if Nigeria breaks up, right, you see where you have the yellow, that yellow part, that will be where you have the Hausas. I can't find the Fulanis here, all right? But they are within those communities too, but minority there, all right? So the Hausas were convinced to believe that Hausa Fulani are the same thing, okay? So even if they continue to remain that same thing, look at everywhere you see that yellow. Those are the areas and the lands they will carve out for them when Nigeria break up. And you see where you see all the blue, that place will be, including Abuja, those places will be southern Nigeria. What they did was that they claimed Abuja. Meanwhile, the owners of Abuja are the Baggy people. Baggy people, the owners of Abuja, if they finally find a way in collaboration with the rest of the southern Nigeria and decide to form an alliance, then that puts them in minority. So to make it easier for you, this is what it will look like. You can have northern Sudan, which is today's Sudan. They can keep the Sharia Caliphate bloc, right? And the entire southern territory can come together and imagine the level. You know what will happen? You are going to have a country, southern Nigeria, a country of over 120 million people. That's the area covered there. But until we begin to find alliances across this part that says, you know what, let's break it in parts. These guys from the up north will continue to make you think Nigeria is not going to break. It will break. Because what they are doing that pushed everybody to this point, they have not stopped. And it is, tribal profiling, tribal gaslighting, setting up people and killing people for asking for their rights in a country that is supposed to be one country like they claim. But you know that Nigeria is two countries, according to two countries claiming to be one, or one country with two laws. These two laws serves the elite in both sides and punishes the poor. But the northern bloc, they have managed to silence most of those that could probably rise against them with the propaganda that whatever wrong they are doing in northern Nigeria, southern Nigeria is the reason why. Thieves from there is the reason why. Those who wants to break away are the reason why. And on like that. So once people begin to understand that line, and that revolution happened, something that Issa from Zamfara will tell me, come and break it now. I know your worry, Issa. Musa, I know your worry. Come and break it. You sit down in the UK, you are talking about breaking Nigeria. I know you are worried. But it's unfortunate that no matter how long these criminals manage to hold it, they can't hold it for long. Okay? They can't. It has become more fragile than what it used to be because people now know better that there are many Nigerians. So Musa, you can tell me whatever you want, and you can say whatever you like. But look at me very well. You are likely, if you don't get kidnapped or killed, so to say, in Zamfara, right? You are likely going to witness it. And you will participate in the revolution that will follow in northern Nigeria. Because you see those criminals that are hiding under Nigeria today, and they open you up to terrorists who are kidnapping you, raping your women, destroying your villages, sending you to refugee camps inside the northern Nigeria and outside Nigeria. You will be able to deal with them because they will not have Nnamdi Kanu to blame. They will not have a Sunday Igboho to blame. They will not have any Southerner to blame. Us too, even us in southern Nigeria. We will no longer have to blame Buhari. We will no longer have to care about your Abacha. You will no longer have to care about all these murderous military criminals who brought us to this level. You will have to deal with them. We will deal with those ones that we are going to inherit. Don't worry about us. Nigeria is going to break. The people who brought us to this level, they have done a fantastic job. And the only part of the job that makes it look like is impossible is what they have done on you. That you are so concerned about Nnamdi Kanu. You are so worried about Igbo that you don't even care about the bandits that, your terrorists that, attacked the security forces that killed 50 of them and they burned them alive. But that Nnamdi Kanu is in detention. Yes, Nigeria is one. Musa, now so some of the northerners in Sudan, they were saying 8-9 years ago. Today, they are now shouting, Sharia kill you, Sharia kill you. They are now fighting those who told them to stone and kill Nnamdi Kanu of South Sudan. All of you who are jumping up for Nnamdi Kanu, Sunday Igboho of southern Nigeria today, trust me, you are going to gather stone to chase those who are telling you to blame them. Kingibe has hinted the criminals who are still fighting this war, civil war of Nigeria in their head, they are already dying. Those they are thinking will take over from them, like those in Sudan, they won't hold for long. They can't hold it for long. Whatever you have today, another thing you should take away from this is that every character contributing to these mass killings, ethnic cleansing, and all these permutations to continue to displace people all over southern Nigeria, all the characters are known. And all the characters are going to be, they are going to be identified. They are all going to be prosecuted, whether they are alive or dead. So let them enjoy it for now. And the internet won't forget. And I'm glad that the right team, the right legal team are doing everything they can all across board. The elite, who knows that Naira is gone. You heard about the attack on Mary Odili's house, right? I got something I want to share with you on that quickly before I go. How many of you remember Onogen? You remember Onogen? What, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Gabriel Onogen, Buhari removed him because somebody wrote a petition to the Nigeria Code of Conduct Bureau. Code of Conduct Bureau then said the Chief Justice of Nigeria did not submit the full details of his assets, that he didn't declare a particular, a particular account where he had a business, blah, 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 blah. Buhari and Malamu quickly, they replaced him and removed him, even before he could defend himself at all. When they removed him, they brought in Tanko Technicality, Babalawo Ife, the plane driver. Now, Tanko Technicality has been missing for some weeks now. He's appeared in public probably once in the last 2 weeks. And that has increased the speculation that the old Sharia judge, who is the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who managed to help them ensure they got all they could get to secure the second term of Buhari in 2019, that he's been missing, that he's been having health issue. He also has dementia, as we were told. The Chief Justice of Nigeria gets dementia. However, something happened. The next person in line is Mary Odili, the former First Lady of Rivers State. The wife of the former governor of Rivers State, Peter Odili. She is a jurist of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So if succession plan is anything, her name will be one of those forwarded. Since it is a Fulani Republic of Nigeria, FRN, or Fulani Government of Nigeria, FGN, led by Buhari, the breeding money queen. Even if they forward her name, by all things, she is probably next, as we were told. So they said they received, like Onogen, like Mary Odili, they received a complaint from one Umaru Aliyu. I don't know if that is his real name. Umaru Aliyu wrote a petition that House 7, Imo Streets or Imo Crescent, Abuja, which is like the judges, Supreme Court judges' quarters, that Umaru suspected some illegal activities going on in that compound, House 7. Therefore, EFCC should investigate it. Somehow, the same petition got to the police, and somehow, Malamu, who is the engineer, who is the brain behind it, deceived the magistrate court in Abuja, just like the code of conduct for Onagen. They went to a magistrate court in Abuja to go and get a warrant, to go and search the house 7. Now, when they got to that area, they went straight to house 9. Number 1, illegal warrant, wrong address, and forceful entry into the house of a Supreme Court jurist who happened to be the next in line to become the Chief Justice of Nigeria, a woman, a Christian. And you know that their Salafist teachings, where it's a pandemic, where Buhari, where the rest of all those Izala movement in Buhari's government, their teachings was that Christians must never lead the Muslims. The Muslims must never vote for any Christian to lead them. And they must never obey. I'm not joking, oh. This is their ethic. This is their edict or whatever. You know what I mean? It's there. It's their convention that they agreed to. And they have been following it. That's why, good luck, Egbere Jolantan, they will blow Nigeria up if that guy managed to stay back like they promised. They would have failed anyway, but that one just chickened out when they gave him a good deal that covered him and his wife to enjoy their loot, while the rest of Bayelsa continue to pray for a Messiah that will give them life. So water on organ again. Somebody then got in. Somebody gave the petition. Only for them to get to the place, because they know what they are doing. They wore mask and they were breaking door, breaking everywhere inside Odili's house, so that they can then come tomorrow and say, yes, we went there. They will first deny. Then later they will say, yes, we went there under the tip-off of this and that. Then they will then launch media trial. Did you know that Mary Odili has properties here? Do you know that Mary Odili stole 35 billion? The same way they did to Onogen, right? And boom, boom, boom. They will just retire her. Okay? And that's what they planned on Odili. But somehow, it be like say Wiki and gang, they got the wind of it. They quickly jumped there because they're having their PDP convention today anyway. They were all in Abuja and they saved Mary Odili. But EFCC came out, they said they are not the ones who sent a warrant or anybody to our house. Malamu came out and he said he's not the one, he didn't know about it. The magistrate court said Malamu deceived him to approve that warrant. Now, last, we don't know what they are coming up with again. But when you remember Odili, remember Onogen. And that's where I'm going to draw the curtains tonight, okay? Tomorrow is another day, and that's, Sunday sermon. If you have the time to join me between 12 noon and 4 p.m., please do. Until then, I also got this. This guy who said that Nigerians have been sleeping with their 2 eyes closed. This senator from Akwa Ibom, from Eket, Oron, they said this guy has been released after 54 days with his kidnappers. We'll talk more about that some other time. Pastor Ruga also, to prove to us that he's not fighting with Tifnumbu, and there is no fight. In fact, they are brothers and they are sons and father. He finally met with Buhari in Lagos, and they hugged and they said, well, there's no rancor. I'll see you some other time. But before you go, my friends on YouTube, you can give that thumb up, under that video. Some people are already telling me that they are unable to comment on YouTube. That's strange. You might need to actually have a Google Mail account to be able to subscribe and comment under any video, because without that, you can only watch. You can't really comment or like. All right. So I'm going to see you some other time. Good night.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ba bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òkúra olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi